What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the American Dynasty. This one we got episode 6 of our off-season, but we're kind of already into the beginning of the season. We've already got the schedules made out, the red shirts. We've already discussed the training results, the position changes. Yeah, but in this one we're going to go over your recruits. So we're going to look at each team's recruiting board and see just where your guys are falling, where they're interested in. And we got some surprises too. Some guys locked us out.
Right, so we hope you guys will be happy with where you're kind of headed towards. How'd that happen?
Oh, Fort Lauderdale? Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, I never clicked it.
Oh.
All right, we're going to start from the top. So, UT Clarksville. Let's look at their board. Let's see what Philip Fulmer's got going on.
And they're looking to build off of a pretty okay season. They didn't blow anybody out of the water. So they're looking to try to get some more talent on that roster.
Right. So here's a guy that is currently not on the radar or he doesn't have Clarksville on his radar yet. We're hoping to change that. Ethan Schultz. That's one of your guys. As you can see here, Caleb Johnson from Rhode Island. 5-star recruit, so he's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
And he's looking at Notre Dame, among others. So Clarksville, as you can see, they're kind of like putting themselves out there. They want to get these guys' attention.
Yep.
So they're not really on the radar yet. So here's a guy. This is Prince Vince's player, Tyreek Wyrick Dysert.
I like that.
From
Cape Coral.
Yes.
We'll have to see if Cape Coral is going after him. They should be, though.
Yeah, I think they are. So Jason Lorkey.
Josh
Lorkey, if I'm saying that right. Josh Hudson from Delaware. Again, not on the board here. Here's a guy that's not one of our guys, but Herb, yeah. I was thinking all like spices. Herb Oliver. So we're number 5 there. As you can see, we got 3 of our teams. 1, 2, 3. Skylar Stefanski.
He's the #1 wide receiver.
Wow, how about that?
So, guys, if you look over to the little on the left there by the player name, that is the rank of that player in their respect to their position.
Yes. So here's a guy that's got Clarksville 5th. You can see a couple MAC programs at the top of his board. I think that's a guy we can put a move on.
Yep.
Casey Callahan.
Oh, there you go.
He likes the American.
State. Yeah, Daytona State. Gotta compete with Fort Lauderdale. That's gonna be tough.
Yep. Aaron Penner from Kansas. And let's see, Juju DeLeon Smith. They won't let you use hyphens for last names either.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
So, from Georgia, obviously, Clarksville, they need to find a quarterback to put on their depth chart for the future. Chris Evans, another guy from Greenville, South Carolina.
He loves Greenville, and they're not even on his top 5.
Interesting. So, Joey Wozniak from Wisconsin, another guy that we could possibly find. Tony Harrison. As you can see here, he likes Cape Coral, Fort Lauderdale, Daytona. I think any one of those would be a good fit for him.
Yep.
Power running back from Georgia. Christian Fairfax.
Only got 3 teams.
Yep. So Ohio, Clarksville can hit Ohio. So they can hit that area for sure. Scooter McHarris is a guy. So as you can see, Clarksville's kind of like our like test. So we're gonna basically, I think we put every guy that we made on Clarksville. Unfortunately, we made guys that didn't end up showing up.
Oh yeah, that is something that we need to talk about. So there's a max. There's a limit to how many players.
Like it. Maybe it's not the case for some other people. I wouldn't pretend to know how the game is coded like that. But for us, I think we made like 20 players, and then anything after that, it was accepting, but then they weren't showing up. So I tried to make a lot of Prince Vince's guys. I love those names, and I couldn't get them in the game. So
yeah, and that was
so
where
maybe we'll save them for next year. I don't know.
That was where most of them disappeared from. So
right.
I think everybody that set it solo, like they had one guy that they wanted in, they got in.
Pretty much we got you in. Yeah.
Right, but it was Prince Vince's guys extra.
I'll save some of those guys though, because I wanted it was Olajuwon Williams. I wanted him really bad to go to Cape Coral. He's a big wide receiver. But
would have been hilarious. But
Maybe next year. I hope he can get it next year. So, again, Clarksville hitting the quarterback, Sam Stefanitz. London-Dara the third.
Ooh, he likes all the American teams.
Yeah, that's good. Darius Madison, Denver Harris, and Connor Swan. This might have been a flub on our end with the ratings.
Yeah, I think when I was making some guys, I went ahead and pressed enter or start without doing the ratings. I was so focused on how their look was and their appearance that I just went into it. But what we'll do is, this guy should be an easy sign for Clarksville if they put a lot of points onto him or wherever he's supposed to go.
Yeah, we can go in and edit his stats. We'll make him a little bit better.
Right. Once he's signed, we can edit him. But
yeah, you know, my favorite thing about this game is they wanted you to purchase the extra content. Or you can purchase max player training, or you can just go in for free and edit their stats.
Go to edit roster, click on the player, and edit their stats.
I feel bad for anybody that purchased max player training.
Yes, you didn't even need it.
Okay, so let's go to Scranton.
All right, let's talk about Scranton State. All right, so let's check out Scranton State here. Let's look at their board. So they're pretty much looking at figuring some things out on the offensive line and defensive line. Really focused on the defensive backs as well. Not too much with offensive skill players, as you guys can see. I mean, yeah, they're scouting, you know, here and there, wide receiver, 57 overall.
I feel like if Scranton should be good, they should do it with their defense. I think that's the kind of vibe I get from this team.
Yeah, they need to focus on getting that solid defense going, because their offense isn't there yet.
They won't be there for a while.
No, so it's better just to build a defensive credibility, I guess, and really start getting those recruits in. But some of the creative guys here on their board is Josh Hudson, Caleb Johnson. Want to really go after that number 3 overall back from Rhode Island. So East Coast player, they should be in the running if they spend some big time points on him. Adam Castillo, number 3 middle linebacker. So you got Josh Lorkey right there, wide receiver, Ian Fleischman, and then Jesse Lewis. So really, they're really targeting their offensive stars, I guess you could say. So Lorkey, Caleb Johnson, and there's another offensive player up here, I believe.
That's the running back,
Marcus Glover. Yep. So
it'd be big if they could nab a couple of those guys.
Yeah, they're really. It's almost like they're target marketing. They only want to focus on a select few offensive weapons. Everything else is offensive line, defensive line, then defense.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
All right, so we'll go and check out Charleston State. So this team did not do too well in the recruiting last year. Very bad.
They're still stacks. So I think we'll do better this year, I think.
I hope so. I really do. Roosevelt Robinson, the running back, 4-star athlete out of Georgia. Look at all those. He likes the American Conference.
Beautiful sight.
Another Mark Terrell sighting. Mario Walker, the tackle. So another team that's focused on the line. Really trying to find guys who are going to be able to run the option. Athletic linemen that can run is the big thing. Let's see, we got some defensive linemen, linebacker Matt Johnson. So he's a coverage guy that's good for the defense. Yeah, a lot of tackles, a lot of centers. Ian Fleischman, Jesse Lewis, London-Dara.
Yeah, so they're looking for some guys that could take over eventually.
Yep.
Let's get Dara and DeLeon Smith. And yeah, Darius Madison used to be a basketball player. And I assume probably played center.
Probably
with
6'7".
So
holy cow. Do you like the Scooter McHarris target here? Just because he's a power guy, he can probably run the option a little bit. Marcus Landry. He's not related to Jarvis Landry. Just so everybody's clear. Aaron Penner, the Wichita, Kansas coverage free safety. So they got some targets. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I think that really set a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, I hope they're going to do better.
Yeah, because the recruiting was off. It was last in the nation.
Yeah, that can't get worse. So. All right, let's see the Greyhounds. As you can see, they're probably going after some guys here. We want to hit some of these guys. See, 5 stars. They were 4th on the board, so I like that.
Elgin Rogers.
Eric Tyler, Brian Graves. So some defensive linemen are looking at us here. Alex Smith, Maryland. Adam Burrell from Minnesota. We're going to go after Josh Hudson. You can see tackle here, Chris Pollard, safety Coley. So a lot of these guys are actually interested in me.
Yeah.
So they're not guys that I added. I'm trying to talk them into our school. So
yeah,
Jesse Lewis.
That Orange Bowl win really helped out.
Yeah, that'll help. Stefanski, I was not on the board for him, but we're going to make a play anyway, because why not? 5-star wide receiver. Wonder if this guy might be the next Corey Summers. He might take over.
Is that how Summers spells his first name too?
Yes.
Funny.
Casey Callahan, number 2 running back. We're going to try to pry him away.
Nope, not going to happen. Daytona State, all the way.
We got Aaron Penner on the board from Kansas. See, a lot of guys in the 70s. I think this is shaping up pretty well. Stefanis and Dara as well. So we're also looking, I mean, we got to start thinking ahead a little bit. You got McKinney and Summers are redshirt sophomores, so we need to recruit somebody, slap a red shirt on him, and might be the guy for the future. So.
Yep, let him grow. The moment you guys have all been waiting for.
Yeah, I have a feeling that people are interested in the Bullfrogs of Cape Coral, and we will see what they're looking at here.
That's nice. That's a nice board.
Look at this guy, 79 linebacker, number 1 on the board. He wants to play, I guess. Playing time, A+.
Jeez.
There you go. We're going Caleb Johnson. First mention him, we've had a Michael McCorders at tight end.
He's the only team builder team on the list.
So far, yes. Tyreek Wyrick Dysert. We're going to try, look at it, he's from Cape Coral. He's not even talking to us, so I think after the preseason, I think we'll get on there and hopefully prime away. Now, see, if we did this in year 1 for Cape Coral, I think we would have gotten a much better class than we did. But since we let the CPU do it, it wasn't that good. So we lost a little bit of cachet with that 4-star. So we're going to try to make that right and get some of these 70s looking at us.
It's a nice board.
Because obviously you're coming off a 1-11 year, now we're a 3-star program.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's going to be a little bit harder. Tony Harrison. There he is, number 1 on the board for the Bullfrogs, and looking at some depth guys. And that's that for the Bullfrogs. But I want to take another look at the top. Jeremy Perkins. I think we're going to get this guy.
Yeah, it was A+s all over. Yep.
Yeah, we're getting him. Caleb Johnson might be a guy too that we end up.
Well,
hard to say. I mean, he's from Rhode Island, so it's going to be tougher recruiting.
Look at the bonus points for Caleb Johnson.
110. Oh, he wants to play for championship. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Should I cut my losses before?
No. I mean,
we even start.
You never know what'll happen. But they got a pretty good class. I'm actually impressed. It's going to be better than Ohio Western. I can tell you that right now, guys.
Well, who knows? Maybe Ohio Western's. They like to find those diamonds in the rough and turn them into something. So.
Yes, they do. All right. So Justin Bonner, the number 6 middle linebacker from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Nice start there to the class. Mike Murphy, an athlete. We got 2 athletes we're going after. Corey Reed. So you guys can see defense. That is head coach LeVar Brown's calling card.
And now they got to go back to the drawing board at quarterback.
Yep.
Since Baker was such a dud.
66 accuracy.
So now they're looking at Alvin Bell from Alpharetta, Georgia.
He's a scrambler. Scott.
Scott. Wow.
Oh, we got to keep it. You have to.
Well, let's call him Scotty or something.
Scotty Scott?
Scotty.
I
don't know what we're going to call him. We got to do something.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
His parents are jerks.
Yeah, they are.
And then you got Clarence Scott. They're both from Ohio.
They're probably, related.
They're cousins. They can say Van Wert, Ohio, and Brecksville.
I don't know where those towns are at.
I don't know. Freddie Bailey. You got Travis Morgan as a backup plan.
That guy might be more their style.
Pocket passer, 6'6".
Perfect.
It's all defense, guys. I mean, look. Scott Hayden, another Scott. Some tackles in there, thrown in there. Guards, Carl Caldwell. Interesting. Linebackers, Lionel Scruggs, Ian Fleischman, Connor Swan. They like those project quarterbacks, guys.
He might be one of them.
Michael McQuarters. They're gonna give it a go, even though they're up against you know, all these big time Florida programs. I doubt they're gonna nab him, but they might as well try. Josh Hudson, Christian Fairfax. It's the first time we've seen Fairfax on the board, I believe.
Second.
Out of Ohio, good there. So and there's Aaron Penner.
And Wozniak.
Wozniak. That's a good spot. Not a lot of teams are up north.
Yes, so they can hit Wisconsin. They can hit the recruiting trail up there. So.
All right, next up, let's go to Kentucky Tech and see what they got going. Now, interesting little tidbit here. There were no running backs that were okay.
I've never seen that before.
No running backs were interested to go to Kentucky Tech. None. Yeah, I sorted it. I did everything I could. I'm like, is this a glitch? I backed out. There's no running backs that want to go there.
Because they got the George Gray, so nobody wants to even touch that. Not even like some 2-star guy from Kentucky that just wants to play Division I football. Like, nobody.
It was just it's very, very weird. It's kind of spread out. For this season for Kentucky Tech. Brian Graves, Herb Oliver, Daniel Coley, Caleb Wilson, Junior Lake. He's a former baseball player for the Cubs. You guys know that. Colt Johnson out of, where's he out of? New Jersey. So, you know, looking at the East Coast.
Yep.
Justin Jordan, Donald Jones, Taylor Washington. So, I mean, it's really all over the place, guys. They're really trying to stack up these young guys for losing a lot of seniors.
Henry Reese. They gotta start thinking ahead too. So.
Yep. Tristan Rivero. Number 4, number 3, guys. So they got a shot at these players too.
Ooh, I see Caldwell again.
Yep. Caldwell. There's Fleischman. He's out of Kentucky. So it's so weird. These guys that are in the state just don't even have these guys on their board.
Yeah,
but this is Ian Fleischman's favorite team.
Right. I think we're gonna make sure we get him.
And then there's Sam Stefanitz. Gotta hope for this guy in case the other 2 fall through.
Right.
And then Josh Lorkey. They need to focus on wide receiver.
Yes.
Big time for this offense. So that is Kentucky Tech, guys. And let's go check out Greenville now.
All right, Greenville Phantoms. Let's see it. I think they're going pretty hard. It's Greenville, Gamu, Fort Lauderdale.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. He has an 84.
Holy crap. 107.
Looks like we got a shot at him. He's from Ohio. Be interesting to see if Greenville can make a play. See Eric Mead. See, we're trying to punch above our weight a little bit. Greenville's trying to get in the mix and trying to get in the action on some of these guys. So I have no idea if they'll be able to pull it off. This guy might end up coming here. Vince Nelson, Josh Hudson again. Doesn't like any of our teams, but we're going to try to fix that.
He's all in the top programs.
See here, more wide receivers. Lucas Webb, Ian Robbins. Jesse Lewis is another guy one of your guys. Obviously, Skylar Stefanski again. Out of Nebraska. Fleischman.
Everybody loves Fleischman.
Marcus Landry. So they're still trying to get those weapons on offense.
They're prepping for Alan Tebow's arrival.
Yeah, they wanna get in a good spot here, Londonderry as well. So Greenville, they're going hard, I would say.
A lot of good boards.
Wait till you see this.
Oh yeah, you thought Greenville was good?
Georgia A&M's got some. They got some caliber players on here. Some of these guys, they aren't interested in them yet, but we'll see if we can change that. see that pro potential. I think that, I don't know if that is set in stone or if that increases with drafts. But since Georgia A&M had such a good draft last year.
Yeah. No, I think it does. I think it.
Yeah, it's probably variable. And then, so yeah, you see some of these 5-star guys. We're currently NA, but they're going to try to make a play on them.
I mean, these guys are all 75 and above.
Yeah.
74 and above.
They like their athletes. They're hitting Georgia, the Georgia area. You know, it's funny. There's 2 recruits here from Douglasville, Georgia, which is where Georgia A&M is.
It's funny.
Atlanta suburbs. So Robert Jackson. Again, Stefanski. Casey Callahan shows up again. Let's see.
So if Daytona State's really got to focus on running the football this season, because they take into account the play style.
Right. Tony Harrison from Atlanta. So Georgia A&M, they want some big. They're going for some big names. And so we'll go Carolina Atlantic.
All right. So Skylar Stefanski, we got to call you out here, bud, because we know that you're a big Carolina Atlantic fan, and you locked us out.
That hurt.
You locked Carolina Atlantic out. Now, I'm going to try my hardest to try to get you back into the running here for Carolina Atlantic, but I don't know for sure if it's possible.
Right.
From the get-go, you locked him out. I don't think you're ever gonna get in. So that's
sad.
That's sad.
It's very sad.
That's sad. But we wanted to go after wide receiver, as you guys can see. So we got Roy Webb, not Royce Webb. Interesting. Ronnie Simmons, Chris Jenkins, Matt Sanders, Josh Lorkey, Tyreek. Going after Tyreek. We got Jesse Lewis. We're going after him. Darius Madison. Talked about Lorkey. So we're anticipating losing some wide receivers. If you guys can see that, we got 2 freshmen, 5 seniors.
And 4 of the best wideouts are seniors.
Exactly. So really got to hit wide receiver hard. Got to focus on some line, because the offseason for Carolina Atlantic wasn't really that great either. So they were kind of right in the same the same bracket as Charleston State. Let's see. Yeah, focus on the line some more. Some linebackers. Scooter McHarris.
Ian Robbins.
It's a nice little ad. And yeah, Ian Robbins. Nice wide receiver, 74 overall. He's third.
I think we're going to get him.
Yeah.
What's his
proximity to home? Won't be
it's
minus,
tough.
not too bad. The playing time is deceiving though, because
yeah, he would play immediately next year.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So,
but yeah, that's Carolina Atlantic's board. I kind of like where they're going with it.
Yeah. Let's check out Fort Lauderdale now. Fort Lauderdale is in a good spot recruiting, because Georgia A&M had a lot of guys that were interested, that were good, but they did have to reach a little bit to try to acquire some better players. And then Fort Lauderdale, everybody just kind of wanted to play for them. So pretty much everybody on this board is interested in Fort Lauderdale. You can see Jeremy Perkins. Cape Coral might have some company here on Perkins. Gallatin is going after Rogers. Brian Brown. We need to start thinking. Well, they have Knowlton and Valdez. I forgot my backup quarterback. Anyway, they got 2 Stratford and Knowles are 2 freshmen, but you can never have too many quarterbacks. So they're going after Brian Brown of Florida, Mathis, Peoples, Myers. So all these guys are...
Ooh, Marquise Ward.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good one if they could nab him. They're going after McCorders. So...
Antonio Brown.
Oh, good. So yeah, like I said, and Stefanski, they're going to try to maybe talk him into leaving Nebraska. Casey Callahan, we're number 1 for Callahan here. So I mean, man,
it's loaded.
You've only seen
Robinson.
You've only seen one guy where we were NA. So
yeah,
pretty much everybody else. Fort Lauderdale is clearly in the mix for everybody on the board.
They might actually get out of the gate really quick with some of their recruits.
Yeah, I think they're in a good spot here for sure. And last but not least,
the Golden Jackals. All right. Let's see what we got going on here, guys. It's gonna be all over the board again, just like last year. So we're targeting everything. We need everything. Linebacker Jeremy Perkins, the number 2 outside linebacker. We're already number 5, so he's heavily considering us. We've got 2 of our team builder teams that we've got to compete with, but this guy, I need defensive help, really, really bad.
Come on, Cape Coral.
Ethan Schultz. I want to go after Ethan Schultz at quarterback because, yeah, Ty Morrow's a sophomore right now, but by the time Schultz signs, Morrow's a junior, and we might lose him to the draft after his junior season. So Schultz might be a red shirt in the making. Michael McQuarters, another tight end. We had Paul Lindsay, who was our big-time recruit in the offseason, but we want another tight end for blocking purposes. Josh Lorkey needs to step up and become the guy for Picoletti,
Be a good
I guess
fit
you'd say.
for that offense.
There's Lake, Brown, Lewis. We need a hard hitter at free safety, and I think he can be that guy. David Bailey, Casey Callahan. I want this guy really bad. Really bad.
It's going to be an arms race for him, though.
5-star running back. Need someone to take over for Salas and Worthington when they're done. Penner. Need some safeties. Need some DB help.
Chris Evans.
Where's he?
No.
Oh yeah, Chris Evans. I didn't see him. I didn't see him on the Phantoms.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, we'll add him.
Yeah, he's
We'll
a
make
big
sure
Phantoms guy. Roosevelt Robinson. He's number 1 for us. So if we can't get Casey Callahan, Roosevelt might be a nice guy to get. Rocky Singleton, I love that name. Seems exactly like a Daytona State player, defensive tackle. He's 6'2", he's not too bad with size. Sam Stefanitz, quarterback out of Michigan. So in case we can't get Schultz, Stefanitz might be a good guy to get. So,
all right.
Yeah, that is it for the recruiting, guys.
All right, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so what we want to talk about next is the schedule going forward for the American Conference. Now, next episode will be in March. So
Yes.
Now you might be freaking out. You might be freaking out right now. Like, March, what the heck? Why are we waiting, February?
2 months.
Why are we waiting 2 months pretty much?
Right, we're going to speed up the Mountain West posts. So now that we're going on hiatus here, we can start posting Mountain West Wednesday and Saturday.
Yep, so double upload per week.
So you're welcome, everybody. But so then, I mean, that'll keep us a month ahead of where we're on schedule for.
Right.
So we're gonna save a month, and I think you guys will like that more. Honestly, then you don't have to wait for the American to get going again. So we're gonna pick it up end of March. There's gonna be 2 kind of shorter season previews, or preseason kind of preview. So we're gonna go over schedules and everything like that, and then kind of remind everybody where the teams are at.
Yep.
Kind of like what the storylines are and all that stuff.
Just a nice little refresh introduction for year number 2, and then we'll go right into the gameplay.
Right.
But yeah, so the reasoning behind all this and this decision to go on hiatus and take a month break with the American is because when you're going into year number 2 with the American and you're still in year number 1 with Mountain West, it gets confusing. It gets confusing as to figure out what actual real-time year are you into college football. Now it says 2014 preseason, but we're actually in 2017. We're in the 2017 season for the American Conference because the rosters were not up to date.
Right.
The Mountain West is in 2017, so the rosters were up to date.
Yeah,
So-
and then you got recruits and everything, and we just want to keep everybody on the same page.
Right.
I mean, I have a tough enough time thinking about everything through on my end, so you guys probably do have it easier. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you guys just sit back and watch. But I will, for transparency reasons, it does take a long time to edit these videos, and I've mentioned it before, but I want to mention it again for people that are just joining the channel and joining this series. To do the 4 videos per week. So mine, yours, and then 2 other games of the week. It's about 6 hours. 6 hours of real-time gameplay. So we're watching the whole CPU play.
Yeah, I mean, it takes an hour a game, so there's 4 hours.
Right.
Usually 4.5 or something like that. And then editing and stuff and recording and then all that. So it's, yeah, like 6.5 hours per video.
Right. So, so the strategy between you and I is have a marathon day on a Saturday and play all day and simulate all day. So we're like 4 weeks in advance. So that way we're not, you know, worried about, are we going to get this uploaded in time? Or are we going to get this commentated in time to upload, to keep our upload schedule? So I guess what I'm saying is basic end of story here is that these videos do take a long time to edit, and it would be confusing on your guys' end to keep following it, and it would be tough on us for schedule-wise to be doing an American Conference and a Mountain West Conference football games at the same time.
Yeah, so Mountain West, we're through 3 weeks. We start doing double uploads. We'll be done kind of like in the March teens, I believe.
Right.
So that'll be when, so that season will be over. By then, we'll start with the previews, and then we'll get into the season at the last week of March. We'll be playing games.
Right. So if you can wait that long, cool. In the meantime, keep right here for Mountain West Dynasty action, because that's really fun. Those games are really fun. Just wait till you see some.
Actually, I would argue that they're kind of lackluster so far in terms of kind of game-to-game intrigue, but they're getting crazy, so stick around, keep watching.
Yeah, they're all pre-recorded. We're up until like week 9. So
yeah, they're getting wild.
They are getting pretty crazy. So we're looking forward to bringing those to you guys. So, guys, that is it for this episode. Leave a like if you like this thing. If you like the way your teams are starting to shape out with recruiting and depth chart wise.
If you like where your player is being recruited, let us know. Yeah, if you got a problem with it, especially let us know. We'll change it around.
I can think of a couple people who might have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But it's not up to us. It's this computer.
Right.
We put them where we put your city in there, and they should have been on that team's board, but they're not. It is what it is. But yeah, so guys, we'll see you back in March for the American Dynasty, year number 2, episode 1, for the introductions of the schedule. So if you like this thing, leave a like. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that little red button for a subscribe or my logo. Like I said, we'll see you guys in March. And as always, peace.